Howdy folks. The other day we put these Thule crossbars on this 2024 runner, and if that's something that you're interested in seeing and learning how to do yourself and learning the fit and finish of this Thule product, why don't you stick around and see what we got to offer. One thing I will mention though is that we did tighten down the Thule crossbars to recommended specifications before putting the roof box on, and the roof box mounting points did not line up with where we had mounted the crossbars, so we did have to loosen everything and move everything around. I would definitely recommend leaving everything loose, and once you get the roof box on there, tighten everything down then. Other than that, pretty simple installation. Probably will only take you about 45 to an hour. Nothing you couldn't figure out yourself. You definitely don't need me to tell you how to do it here on YouTube. But in case you want to see what the product looks like once it's installed, stick around and take a look.
So here's the Thule boxes that we're going to use, the AeroBlade Edge System. This is at least what the Thule website recommended. 7503, I believe, that's the part number for this. So again, it's a 2020 4Runner with the roof rails already installed, and this is what it looks like when you get the box open. This is how it's going to come. You've got the crossbars, one in each box. Step one here is we're going to take these little covers off of each side. And then you're going to put this little plastic rubber gasket over the top. So you have like this little channel there that you could definitely use for other mounting systems. You can get those little channel nuts. I don't know if Thule sells them or not. I have a Rhino rack on my Jeep and I use 10mm spring nuts. So now this is going to show you how to measure around that existing cross rail. So using the back side of the instruction manual is a metric ruler. I probably was up to 20 something. So just like this, you're gonna wrap it around the crossbar, and you can see here I get a reading of 16. So then you open to, I think this is step 3 or 4. Right there is that little chart, and it'll tell you what hole you're gonna use. So I'm sure they use these on different vehicles. So loosen up this bracket. You'll see that I didn't loosen it up enough, and so it has to be loosened. But yeah, you're gonna go to hole 3, which is the second hole from the top. Press that in, and now it's time to go on the roof. So you'll do that on both sides. Get that little rubber grip on there, and go ahead and throw it on. It's a little tricky to do. One person. I did the first one by myself, and the second one my girlfriend helped me get it on. So they kind of like do like a toilet paper roll does, and they like push in a little so you can get them to fit, and then they'll extend back out, if you know what I mean, like a toilet paper roll. If you've ever changed a toilet paper roll, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So they fit pretty good. Here you'll see how it moves a little, and then I pull it, extend it out, just like that. That little rubber gasket in the T-channel extends over. The instructions ask you to cut it, but I figured there's no reason to cut it because the cover still went on. They give you this 2 Newton-meter torque wrench. That's what you'll use to loosen.
I was just gonna
and
say
then to tighten
bucks.
everything back up. So here I'm just kind of measuring it 3 1/4 from the front, 3 1/4 on the driver's side and the passenger side. These measurements ended up not being any good anyway. Like I said, definitely put your roof box on before you tighten everything down. But it asks you to tighten down sides evenly, and you'll feel a click, and you'll hear a very audible click in that torque wrench when you're down to 2 Newton meters. These little half-turn plug screw things that I'm tightening there have to go in a certain direction, so you got to make sure those work. You know, if it doesn't turn, take it out, put it in 180 degrees the other way, and it should go. So there's the first roof rack installed. So now we're going to do a little fast motion of just installing that second one. Again, it's a lot easier with 2 people. You get that little rubber, I don't know what you'd call it, under there. Measure everything out. Of course, our measurements ended up being no good, and we did have to move everything. But it goes pretty easy, you know. So if you do know your measurements, it's best to double check, and if you don't, it's best to leave everything loose. So we go and start tightening everything down, and you'll hear the clicks again. Put the covers on, give them that little quarter turn. And now we're gonna put the roof box on. So we decided to pull the car out of the garage. That's what I want to say. Just in case the roof box was too high and then we couldn't get it out of the garage. So
Don't
here
worry
we are,
about
putting it
where
on.
it sits. We'll get it where we want.
And it just is a clamp style, like a clamshell style clamp, where it just,
Right.
it doesn't go into those T-channels. Lining it up, trying to get it even.
We'll just get
There's
it.
a little middle antenna and then a little channel on the box that made it visually appealing to line up with. You can see there we opened the trunk to make sure that the trunk would open all the way, so definitely something to consider for what you're putting it on. And we adjusted the bars as necessary. And that's it. That's pretty much the whole installation. It's not too hard. Again, it's definitely something you could do yourself, and you don't need to watch this video, but we put it out there for you to enjoy anyway. So you can see that antenna that I was talking about in the middle, and then there's that channel under the box, and you can line it up there if you don't have a tape measure and just kind of guess. But there she is, looking sharp, looking sleek. Thanks for watching.
Well, if you made it here, you're in a pretty dark corner of YouTube, but thanks for joining us. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. Howdy, folks. Maybe that's what I'll say from now on. Howdy, folks.